now 23 movies in the MCU from 2008's Iron Man all the way through 2019's Spider-Man Far From Home. And now that I've seen them all, it is time to rank them worst to best. How would you rank all 23 MCU films? Let's do that in the comments. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my ranking of all 23 MCU films worst to best. When I dive into this ranking, in-game spoilers, Far From Home spoilers, just expect spoilers, because I'm just going to talk about these movies, and I can't wait to talk about them with you. So how would you rank them worst to best? Let me know in the comments. I want to say a huge thank you to Tina Ann for becoming a new patron on Patreon. Tina, thank you so much. Over the last week, I got 2 new Patreons. Thank you so much for being one of those 2. Thank you for jumping on board and supporting Durbania. If you like what you see here, you can check out my Patreon page. I got the link to it in the comments. Coming in at number 23, Thor: The Dark World. 22, The Incredible Hulk, and 21, Thor Ragnarok. I'm gonna stop right there because if you noticed, if you've been watching my rankings, you're probably very upset that Thor Ragnarok is this low. But if you've been paying attention to my rankings, you'd see I just bumped this up 1 space. Yeah! Something got in here and changed my mind. Even if it was just that little bit of a change, just know it changed my mind. Now look, I love the humor of Thor Ragnarok. It is pretty hilarious. I just am kind of mad that it's that hilarious when his whole homeworld gets blown up, his dad dies, he finds out he has a sister. I mean, it just feels like, and all of his friends die, it just seems like it's so heavy a plot, and it's absolutely wrapped up in slapstick comedy. And so I've struggled with that. I like the comedy. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious. What a heavy, deep plot. And now we're wrapping it up in just funny stuff. And I'm just like, come on, man. Just let me feel the weight for even a second of what is Thor going through. But when you dive into Endgame and you have fat Thor and he looks like melted ice cream, here's why this makes me like Ragnarok better. It makes me like Ragnarok better because you can really see Thor deflects through humor. And he's stinking hilarious in Ragnarok, which means he's got a job to do. So he kind of has to deflect because he's got to work. He's got to save the day. He's got to save his people. You get into Endgame, and that's where you see the weight of it finally hit him. Kind of literally even. You see the weight of it finally hit him, and he's still trying to cover it up through humor, but you just see the pain that he's in, the failure that he feels like kind of just manifested. So to me, it kind of ups Thor Ragnarok a little bit, and it makes a little bit more sense out of the slapstick humor with so heavy a plot going on because he has to deflect, because he has to get the job done. So it makes it that much more interesting to me. 20, Iron Man 2. 19, Iron Man 3. 18, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 17, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 16, Captain Marvel. You know, I like Captain Marvel. I do, but I think the reason it's here is at number 16 is because it's a Phase 1 movie. Had it come out in the time frame of Phase 1, I think it would be higher because it would have fit the time that it came out. But as more and more MCU movies are coming out, expectation is getting greater and greater and greater. I just feel like this one fits way comfortably in Phase 1 as that. Chronologically, that's exactly where it falls. So honestly, the movie did what it was supposed to do, and it did it right. It fit perfectly and comfortably into Phase 1. But it just, as a standout, it doesn't super stand out to me. I enjoy it, and every time I watch it, I think it's fun. It's just not like a standout of the MCU. 15, Captain America, the First Avenger. 14, Ant-Man. 13, Thor. Yes, the first Thor is my favorite. Kenneth Branagh directing just brought that touch that I love. It had the right mixture of humor for me, had the right mixture of that Shakespearean drama because it's a larger than life, weird, crazy Viking universe out there, so to throw a little bit of that Shakespearean touch to it really worked for me, and a great mix of the action and emotion. There's so much about the first Thor movie that I just love, and for me, of all the Thor movies, it's just my favorite. I love Thor 1. 12, Spider-Man Homecoming. 11, Iron Man. 10, Avengers. 9, Age of Ultron. 8, Black Panther. 7, Doctor Strange. 6, Guardians of the Galaxy. And 5, Far From Home. I knew as soon as I saw Far From Home, it had to go in my top 5. Not only does it carry on the tradition of being just an excellently fun Spider-Man movie from Spider-Man Homecoming, not only does it just take Peter Parker to the next level, but the other thing that makes this have to be up there is the reveals in the post-credit scenes. The fact, number one, we got J. Jonah Jameson back.
Spider-Man, hero or menace? You take the pictures, I'll make up the headlines, okay? All right? That okay with you?
Yes, sir.
That was cool, but the reveal that Mysterio was so insidious and that he's so good at his illusions that not only did he make Spider-Man the bad guy in the exchange where he died, but he revealed Peter Parker's identity to the world that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, so now there's no escaping. If Spider-Man's the bad guy and now everybody knows it's Peter Parker, what are we gonna do? I am hooked and I am ready for this Spider-Man 3, and that the Skrulls are around? That Fury was a Skrull? What is that? Number 4, Captain America Civil War. 3, The Winter Soldier. Those two are almost interchangeable. Sometimes Civil War has been above Winter Soldier, and sometimes Winter Soldier has been above Civil War. I'm keeping Winter Soldier here because I love this true genuine solo Captain America movie and how they took the spy genre and superhero genre and put it together but made it serious. So it's still MCU and has that MCU feel, but it's taken seriously. And it's so good putting Captain America into the modern age. I thought that, I love Winter Soldier. Number 2, Endgame, and number 1, Infinity War. I believe in my last ranking I had Endgame as my number 1, but now that I've seen the movie 4 times, it's not that I like it less. I still love Endgame. And Endgame has certain emotional punches that I think are stronger than Infinity War. But the thing about Infinity War is not only does it have those strong emotional moments, but it keeps the action going the whole way through. There's something about Infinity War where the energy is just nonstop. The pauses where the energy goes down in Endgame make sense, and it's perfect, and I'm not complaining about that. It tells an amazing story. But I think I liked the excitement of how Infinity War kept the excitement and kept it going strong from the very beginning to the very end. So there it is, my ranking of all 23 MCU movies, worst to best. If you want to see some of my other thoughts of these MCU movies in more detail, I have all those other rankings. We're in different rankings. I go into it at different times in reviews for the solo movies, so you could definitely check out those other details by checking out a lot of the other videos I have in my MCU ranking, or my MCU talk playlist. So you can definitely check out that playlist. Tons of videos in there, tons of things where you can catch up on my thoughts of the MCU. So you can definitely check that out, and if you like what you see here, check out my Patreon page. I want to say a huge thank you to Tina Ann for jumping on board and becoming my latest Patreon. So thank you, Tina, so much. It means so much to me to have you now as a patron. Thank you. So if you want to check that out, link to my Patreon page is in the description. And hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next ranking, for my Stranger Things review, which is going to be coming this week. Stranger Things 3, my wife is going to join me. I cannot wait to be talking about this show. So that's going to be coming a little bit later in the week, so hit that bell so you're notified as soon as that drops and all the other videos that I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.